Here on Treaty 7 territory, nestled in the Rocky Mountains with the mighty Bow River at an altitude of 1,309 meters. Born from coal dust in 1884 and ever-changing, this is Canmore, and we are Canmorites, and this is the Canmorite Podcast. Let's go! Hey there, it's me, Jeff, from the Canmorite Podcast, and this is a really important episode today. I'm talking about the Forever Canadian Petition, and with me are two very inspiring Bow Valley locals. We have
Patrick Parno.
And we have also
Leslie Taylor.
Excellent. So Patrick, tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we'll do the same thing for yourself, Leslie, and we'll just talk more about the Forever Canadian Petition. Let me know what's going on there, Patrick.
All right. So I've been living in Canmore about 10 years.
Okay.
And fully integrated here. We spend the year here. Mm-hmm. People ask me where we go in the wintertime, and I say, heck, we moved here for the wintertime.
Right. Excellent.
We ski all winter,
Yeah.
bike all summer.
Perfect. And then Leslie, you have a little bit of notoriety within the Bow Valley. I think from people know historically. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Ms. Taylor.
Well, I've been in Banff since 1980.
Yeah.
And I was the first mayor of Banff. Mm-hmm. I was also a councillor for 2 terms later on. I probably most recently known because I worked hard with the organizing group for the pedestrian zone petition. And I'm a very happy and proud Banffite, Albertan, and Canadian.
Okay, so that's a great segue into this next piece. I know there's been a lot of rumblings lately about certain groups in Alberta that are very motivated for separation and pushing a separation agenda. But at the same time, and I think much to the relief of many other people in the province, there's a counter argument with that, with the Forever Canadian petition side. Could you explain a little bit what that is about?
Well, certainly. I think I have to go back and credit Thomas Lukaszuk, who's a former cabinet minister, former deputy premier, continuing progressive conservative in Alberta. And he started expressing concern about the separatist rhetoric. And that has led to what I think can only be described as a movement. We have this petition. The wording is, do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada? And there are 3,000 volunteers out there in the province right now collecting signatures on that petition.
Wow, that's super fascinating, because I know, it seems like recently this whole rhetoric behind separation has really stirred up a lot of anxiety amongst the general populace, but at the same time it's heartening to hear that people are also rallying as well. And then to see a bit of a grassroots thing, and it's being evidenced here in the Bow Valley, is amazing. Patrick, can you speak a little bit more about the initial efforts of what's going on for the canvassing for the Forever Canadian petition?
Sure, I can tell you about the Bow Valley.
Yeah.
So what's going on here? We have about 38 canvassers right now. More have applied. They're waiting for the credentials. And what happens is we kind of advertise that we're going to hold what we call pop-up usually, and some people do it in their garage or on the sidewalk. We tried it on Main Street, over at Origins. Senior Center, and at the market, this sort of thing.
Right.
And then people just come up to the table and sign up if they agree with that petition.
And so I think one of the interesting things about the petition piece here, it actually has to be done at an official spot where there's someone that has a credential to see it. So there's not like an online version of it. This has to be done in person. I know for myself, I got accosted in a really pleasant way at Elevation Place, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I just want to sign. Tell me about, in your minds, Patrick, so far, what's the sort of general reaction you've been getting from people as you guys are being out there on the street or at the market or wherever as you're in the process of canvassing? What's the sentiment been like?
I have to say it's extraordinary.
Oh, good.
It's people stride up to the table expressing, oh, thank goodness I found you. I've been wondering where to sign this. You hear that over and over and over.
Okay.
Very enthusiastic, and they grab the pen, sign. They says, I'll come back with my friends or my wife. And
Right.
It's
I think you had
terrific.
a story about like this past weekend when you were canvassing, because I think I saw you out in front of Float. There was
That's
a
right.
table there, and I think you had a pretty charming story. You want to share that one with us?
Sure. Well, if you remember, Saturday was hot.
Hot day.
Sunny, and right in front of Float there, there's, the
It's
sun.
a sun trap.
The sun's beating down pretty hard.
Yeah.
So my wife and I were there
Yep.
and collecting signatures and probably got a couple hundred by that time.
Oh, wow.
And this fellow walks up and signs.
Yeah.
And then he said, "How long are you going to be here?" We said, "Till 6." He said, "I'm coming back with my wife." And people say that doesn't always happen. But an hour later, he drives up. His wife gets out of the passenger side in this really hot day with 2 ice cold Cokes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And Coke is like my wife's all-time favorite treat. She
Right.
allows 1 a day. Is all she
Okay,
gets.
okay.
And she shows up with these Cokes and signs a petition, gives us the Coke. And
Oh my
that's great.
gosh!
Yeah.
And Leslie, how about yourself? Like, I know you've been out busy in the trenches working on this amazing cause. What sort of interesting stories or things that could you share during this time?
I think one of the things that I really enjoyed was a friend phoned me, a lady who's very active in our community, but she's a bit mobility challenged, and she
Right.
wanted to know where could she go to sign.
Okay.
And I said, "Oh, you don't want to, drive and have to get out of your car and so on. I'll bring it to you." So I head over to her place on my bike with my petition.
Yeah.
And by the time I get there, she's phoned around to the entire neighborhood, and she's lined
She's an
up.
influencer.
Yes, she's lined up 9 neighbors in
Yeah.
the driveway, and everybody's signing, and everybody was so pleased to have it there and be able to sign. I just have to agree with what Patrick said. The mood is unbelievably positive. People are saying, "I've been looking for this. I wondered where I could sign. Oh, you're here. Great."
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
That's fantastic. And there's a piece too, Leslie, because because you've come through, say, like a political background. There's also, I think, a bit of general confusion amongst the public of the difference between, say, a petition and a referendum. Could you walk us through the mechanics of just exactly what is happening here and what needs to happen?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a little bit confusing, I know.
Okay.
So occasionally people will comment on Facebook, "Oh, well, this petition's all very well, but I'd rather have a referendum." And they don't understand, perhaps, and I'd like to explain, that you can't get to a referendum without going through the petition
So the
stage.
petition triggers a referendum potentially.
Potentially, yes. So if you want to have a citizen initiative, that's what this is called provincially, you have to have a petition, you have to have a clear question on the petition, and if your petition is successful, which means you get as many signatures as you're required to get, then the province has a choice of 2 options. One, they can pass policy or legislation that supports your point of view from your petition, or 2, they can call a province-wide vote on the same question you had on your petition.
The same question.
The same question, exactly the same wording.
Could you actually clarify the wording that people will see if they sign this petition?
Do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada?
Absolutely.
That's the wording.
Okay. Excellent. I think there's also been a little bit of sort of interesting back talk. I see stuff on social media, and you see stuff in the news, and there's a sort of thing where the other side, the separatist side, they are trying to drive forth their own question. They've had some court challenges, but there's also been this piece where if they're successful, they might have a slightly lower threshold of signatures to trigger a high enough petition count and then potentially next steps. Like Patrick or Leslie, could you sort of share a bit of info on why the threshold might be different for say, like the Forever Canadian petition versus a potential possibility of the separatist petition?
Sure. So under the legislation that did exist, you had to get 10% of the electorate for Alberta.
Okay.
The provincial government passed new legislation that lowers that threshold.
Okay.
Thomas Lukaszuk and the organizers of this movement felt that they wanted to go ahead quickly.
Right.
So instead of waiting for the new legislation and the lower threshold, they decided to go for it at the old level.
Right.
And the result of that is that we have to, as a group, get something just under 295,000 signatures across the province
Yeah.
in order to have a successful petition. Whereas the new threshold would have been, I think, around 170 or 180.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And they also have 120 days rather than just 90 days to collect those signatures.
Oh, there's a time difference as well, too. Okay. All right.
so an interesting difference. But I think the feeling was there are so many Albertans that really want to express themselves on this issue that we're just going to go for it under the old rules.
Excellent. So let's bounce back to you there, Patrick. Like on the Bow Valley side of things here, how long have you guys been running for, like doing all these various petitions? Because it doesn't seem like it's been that long so far.
Oh, no, it's just been 2 weeks, I think, since we started.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
it's just been 2 weeks, and we have till October 28th.
Okay, until October 28th. And there's been a lot of momentum. I kind of get that feeling. Could you tell us a little bit about like how things have been going in your perspective?
Yeah, so you know, you apply online for these credentials.
Yeah.
And then it's like ordering from Amazon and you're dying for that package to show up because everyone's wondering when are you going to get the credentials, and
Right.
it takes a while.
Yep.
And it takes like 2 weeks right now. They're inundated with these applications.
Okay.
And Elections Alberta has had to hire more people just to process all of these applications.
Right.
This is the first ever citizen initiative in Alberta.
Yeah.
And the largest maybe ever in Canada. Certainly the largest ever here.
Right.
You know, it's the first
Yeah.
one. So you get your credentials, and then you trying to figure out how you go about collecting signatures, right? So we've created groups, mainly using Facebook, but in email and so forth, to connect with each other because we have no master list of who's getting these credentials.
Right. Yeah, that is an interesting thing because like I've had people come up to me and say, "Hey, guess what? I've got my credentials. I've applied for them. They're coming soon. And when they come, can I do an event at say the yoga lounge, or can I set up say like on your street?"
Yeah.
And so this whole idea of like this citizen movement and the motivation is really inspiring. And so, as we move forward, you know, here we are, we're like tail end of the summer, and coming up, we've got the long weekend here in Canmore. Is there some sort of like place that people can sign, whether it's in Banff or Canmore? Let's speak to both communities. Yeah, you
for
start
sure.
first, Patrick.
I'll start with Canmore, and then
Yeah.
Leslie, you tell about Banff. So,
Okay.
so we have the Highland Games this weekend.
That's right, the Highland Games.
And so like in a lot of situations, we can't be inside these places. We can be outside. We can be in a public place.
Sure.
And if you've ever driven by the Highland Games, they have this very long lineup of people in lawn chairs waiting to get in, you know.
Yep.
And so we'll be just across the street
Okay.
with a table, usually a Canadian flag,
Yep.
sign saying sign here, that sort of thing, and at least 2 people all the time taking signatures.
Wow. And how about for Miss Taylor, how are things in Banff for this long weekend? Where can people find that signature?
I'm not doing any events in Banff this
Sure.
weekend. There may be some. Friday night, I'm in the Upper Middle Springs subdivision.
Oh, right.
With an opportunity for people to sign. And again, on the Tuesday, I'll be in Valley View with an opportunity for people to sign. But for the weekend itself, just because of the way that Banff functions
For
on
sure.
long weekends, I thought maybe not.
That's it. But there are always-
it's possible that
For sure.
there are other
Yeah.
canvassers who will be doing stuff, because that's one of the interesting things about the way this is working. It's very organic. It's very grassroots up. So people are using their knowledge of the community to find opportunities that work for them.
Great.
And that means there's a wide variety of opportunities, which is great.
Okay.
We should mention that if you're searching for where
Yeah,
where
that's
these
a great
events are,
question.
there's a website, forever-canadian
Forever-Canadian.ca.
.ca.
Okay.
And you just go there, click on where it says sign the petition. There is no online signing.
Nope.
But it should say, where can I sign the petition?
Right.
And there's a drop-down list of towns all over Alberta. You just drop down to your town, and it'll show upcoming events.
Right. And so far, within the Bow Valley canvassing, just within these short couple of weeks, you guys have like a rough guesstimate in your mind how many signatures you guys have gotten so far?
Well, I should say that every canvasser hangs on to their sheets because we're going to have to kind of notarize that we've done it right.
Correct.
So everyone hangs on to their own sheets right now. So and I don't ask people to tell me their numbers at this point.
Right.
But my guess is, I mean, we're way over 1,000,
Which is impressive, right? Like the Bow Valley is not the
2
biggest
weeks.
place.
And that's with honestly not the greatest organization quite yet.
Yeah. We got time. We got time.
But by the end of this week, maybe we'll be up to 2,000.
Yeah, excellent. Because I've heard, in Calgary, there have been events where, say, 8,000 at signing in one location, 9,000 in another. So there's definitely a sense that things are launching completely in the right direction.
In fact, it's inspiring at Nose Hill parking lot. At
Yeah.
Nose Hill, they held a signing event one Saturday, a couple Saturdays ago. Mm-hmm. That parking lot was full of cars. RCMP had to direct traffic around it because it was creating a traffic jam. Mm-hmm. And they got something like 9,000 signatures in one day.
Unbelievable.
And an hour and a half lineup just to sign.
Guys, just come up to the Highland Games. You can sign this weekend. So I'm going to bounce it back to you, Leslie, because I feel that this petition is super important. But for yourself, could you maybe just give a little bit of personal elaboration of why this is so important to you or what it means to be a Canadian?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
I know.
I could get through it without crying.
That's okay.
Because for me, I'm an Army brat. My father was a military officer. Mm-hmm. I was born in Alberta, but by the time I finished high school, I'd gone to 11 different schools in 4 countries.
Wow.
So I'm a true blue Albertan, but I've had an opportunity to see the rest of the world as well. Mm-hmm. And whenever I come home to Canada and whenever I come home to Alberta, I realize yet again how special and wonderful what we have here is. Mm-hmm. I'm a very proud Canadian, and I can't imagine wanting to leave this country. Mm-hmm. It matters a lot to me, and it's one thing to say I'm a proud Canadian, it's one thing to say it matters a lot to me, but you have to do something about it.
Absolutely.
And so I had the opportunity to do this, and I'm really glad that I have.
Thank you. And then, Patrick, for yourself, obviously one needs to have a certain feel and sentiment about Canada to take on these efforts. What is it about this initiative that really resonates for you?
Well, I don't want to plagiarize, but to be honest, I worked 35 years in oil and gas.
Yep.
I was a consultant, and I worked in 17 different locations around the world.
Wow.
And my kids were born outside of Canada, right? But they both decided to move here. One's in Calgary, the other in Edmonton. Mm-hmm. This is home. There's a magnetic pull of Canada. Mm-hmm. It's like Leslie said, when you travel that as much as we did, we lived a lot of countries.
Yep.
It's so clear how wonderful Canadian life is.
It's pretty good.
It's an extraordinary place.
Yeah.
And people who think it's broken or not doing well just don't know. They don't realize how great it is here.
Yeah, for sure. For myself, I could share personally, I feel incredibly fortunate to be Canadian. My grandfather came, immigrated. It didn't work well for him. He left, but then he sent my dad, and my dad persevered. And then I was born here, and Canada's been a place that's provided me opportunities to really grow as a human. And I completely agree with the sentiment. This place is not broken. It can always be better. And we are definitely, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. It just stuns me that people could feel that, separation is some sort of panacea to solve some perceived slights and wrongs, and we'll be on a better way. I
think we need to be really careful too. I think we can just look at other places that have talked about separation. Mm-hmm. When Quebec flirted with separation, 368 companies left the province.
Yeah, investment is completely unstable.
Brexit, if you took a vote 1 week after they agreed to leave the EU, I think it would have been largely, oh my God, we didn't want that to happen.
And that sentiment persists. I was in Europe this summer, and I would run into people from the UK, and they're all just what did we do?
What did we do?
The remorse. Yeah. And
remorse.
Yeah, and you can't rewind that. Just say,
just kidding.
Give us a refund. We're just kidding. No, it doesn't work that way. This country's definitely better for being together. Well, just as one more recap, you guys are going to be out here at the Canmore Highland Games. So if people are coming into the Bow Valley this long weekend for one of our biggest events, you can have an opportunity to sign the petition if you haven't yet. But you can also go to the website. Patrick, once again, can you tell us the website name?
forever-canadian.ca.
And if you go to forever-canadian.ca, you're going to see a whole list of areas that you can go to sign the petition in person. We're making momentum. We got until October 20th. Let's get that 300,000. I have a feeling we're going to get there before. Patrick, Leslie, thank you for your service, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks so much, Jeff.